Hello again. I am ready for the next page. Well, I finished decorating this one. I'm sort of ready for the next one. So here's the ribbon that we put around the back of everything. I've added a small tag pocket here, and this was leftovers from the last project. So this is all scraps from the last project. For some reason I can't get this back in now. There we go. And I really should put some ribbon or something on that, shouldn't I? Behind there, I've only glued it there and there. I've added one of the little booklets that was left over, and this one, it wasn't Screech Owl Studios, it was another one, and I can't remember. This is Screech Owl Studios, the journaling pages. Right, so in the triple pocket here, I've got two tags, top and bottom, that will take a 4x6 photograph, and they go at the front, and at the back here I've got the journaling spot from Screech Owl Studios. I've got another tag that will take a 5x7 photograph, and another one of these. Pop that back in there, and it's the same for the other side as well. If I can get it all in without making a mess. Okay, these bits I have left blank, this I've left blank. In here is exactly the same as what's in here. This side is blank, and then I've just added a couple of tags here, 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 and of course decorated all of that. And then I've put a band across here again because I wanted to use up these. I didn't have a piece that was big enough to fit all here, so I thought, well, if I split it and then I'll put a band across it, and then I can use that to put a few extra bits and pieces in. So that's it for page 3. On to page 4. I might have to cut this down a little bit, this seam binding. I've used rather a lot here. Oh, and I also added, I just punched a couple of holes through and added a little bit of the seam binding for the tags to go in the centre of the pages. Now my plan is, I think, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all the tags. Oh, I also added these little bits here on the page just for a little bit of extra decoration. So yeah, I'm going to take out all the tags. Put those to one side. And then hopefully that will be a lot easier for me to work on this page. I'm also going to take out that because I don't want that to get ruined. So we're now working on page 4. I'm going to get my coffee out of the way because we know what I'm like. I will just end up spilling it. For page 4, you'll need a piece of decorative paper. Oh, I'm going to sit down. That will fit your base page. So of course mine is 8 by 10 3/4 because my base page is 8 1/4 by 11. And in the centre on the right hand side I have added just a little brad and card swivel swivel thing, a toggle swivel clasp, whatever. On this side I have measured in 7/8 of an inch and drawn a line in pencil. See, just in pencil, 7/8 of an inch in here, and just a light pencil line. I have got some pieces of paper. I have 4 pieces that are 7 by 5, and 1, 2, 3, 6 pieces, which are 7 by 10 folded in half, and they've got they've been put together, scored, obviously scored at 5 inches, and then I folded them in half and punched my holes in the centre. It doesn't have to be white card, it can be any card you like. You could even just do one piece and that would be fine. So there's that. I have 2 pieces that are 10 3/4 by 7 1/4. And on that 10 3/4 inch side, I've scored it at 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. Now where I made the holes, top and bottom here, when it's folded in half, so they've got the holes in the centre, here and here, fold it in half. I've laid my paper on one of the creases along the side here, excuse me, and then I just drew a little pencil line to show where these holes in this paper would line up on here in that centre gusset line, and punched holes accordingly so that this then will close up and those will sit in nicely. So there are 2 of these, which is basically a cover, which is the 7 1/4 by 10 3/4 with this score line at 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. So I've done 2 of those. I then have one piece that is now I just realised I could have used a whole piece. I'm not going to do this piece. I'm going to get a piece that is 11 by 8 1/4. Oh, there goes my phone. Right, so it's going to be 11 by 8 1/4, and I'm going to score it at, see if I can get this right, 7 1/2. And score this at 7 1/2 and 7 3/4. And so this needs to be 11. Like that. And I have, don't need that bit now, I can save that. I have 11, I do believe, pieces that are 6 1/4 by 4 3/4, and on the 4 3/4 inch side I've scored it at 4 1/4, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those. Now I can begin. First things first, I want to take my piece that's 11 by 8 1/4 with the 2 lines on it. I will be needing batteries for battery. Oh, why do I always say batteries? I will be needing magnets for this page also. So I'm going to crease and burnish my score lines so that I have a nice 1/4 inch gusset there. Now originally I did have this as 7 1/4 inch, and I added a hinge, but I don't need to do that now. Right, I'm now going to put tape along this small flap here, Mitre my edges just a bit, but only on the flap, not on the gusset. Never cut into your gusset. So you want a nice flat bit here, but mitre on this small flap. So no mitring in your gussets. Now I would like to take off my tape backing, add some glue, and place this on the left hand side of the page, and it should fit top to bottom. And of course you don't want to cover up your gusset, so put my gusset forward, make sure it's nice and straight. Sorry, getting my head in the way again, aren't I? Okay, I'm just going to clip that for a second, because where it's quite thick card, it will take a little while to just hold. Okay, I'm just going to pop it there and there for a second. Right, the next thing I think I'm going to do is add these booklets. So I think I'm going with this colour seam binding, which is the burgundy red. Oh, I also need I need two pieces that are, where are my, okay, right, I have to make two hinges. This is 2, so I can do these at 1 inch apart. I said 1 inch, don't move. All these at 1/2 inch. And yes, I know I have some made up, but I wanted this thicker card rather than the thinner card. Right. First things first, I'm I'm going to measure this up against it. The reason why I didn't cut it on my Fiskars cutter is because it's got slightly different length measurements than my scoreboard and my other cutter. So if I use this, if I use my Fiskars, it might be like, you know, even a 1/16 of an inch out, and it would look odd to me, and I would find it incredibly annoying. Pretty sure these two booklets are exactly the same, so I'm just going to cut that. Okay, I'm now going to add some tape to each side of these little hinges I've just made. I'm just going to miter these edges. Right, I'm going to put these on before I put the papers in because I think that will be slightly easier. Right, that should be done now. Right, I'm going to remove the tape on one side, add some glue. And then place this along one edge of this booklet, not covering the gusset. You just want to go up to one of those gusset lines, but not over the gusset lines. Same for the other one. One day I am going to learn not to be a messy crafter, so that crafting actually is a lot easier. Same again. Up against the line but not over it. So you can see that my gusset is perfectly fine and I have a hinge on one side. And hopefully this one will be dry enough for me to start adding it on. So I'm going to remove this tape backing on one of these. Add my glue. And then decide where I want it. I think I want this one. Let's go for at the top. So I'm going to hold my gusset flat here and line that up against the edge of this flap, not covering the gusset of the flap. So I'm going to lay this gusset down flat, make sure that it's not going over at all. Okay, and then this one I'm going to do exactly the same, but down here, once again on the edge of the flap. Just want to make sure that that's sticking. Okay, so now this one comes off, the glue goes on. That's not stuck down. And this one I'm going to put onto the edge, just on the edge of the flap that you added. Making sure that it doesn't go over the bottom. You want it to be nice and even. There we go. Right, hopefully this one will be dry now. Okay, so now you basically have a book that opens on the side. Oh, I don't like it when things don't stick quickly. Oh, what do I do with my other peg? Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, so I'm just going to open that and stick that down there. Now we have to work on this piece. Now, the easiest way to do this is not to work on the book, but to work on your patterned paper. And when you've done all the work on your pattern paper, then you stick it in the book. So once again, I have a faint pencil line drawn 7/8 of an inch on one side, and I have a small swing tab halfway down on the right hand side. So let's move my book aside. And start work with just this. Okay, so I'm going to take my 4 3/4 by 6 1/4 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to crease and burnish on the score line that was done at 4 1/4. And on this first one, I'm going to add tape to the top side. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to line up that score line, that 1/2 inch score line on the top of the paper, and that's just as a guide for me. Next, I want to make sure that's well burnished. Take off my tape backing, add my glue, and then this is going, so it's going 1/2 inch from the top, and I'm going to line it up with my pencil line as best as I can. Half an inch from the top, line up with my pencil line. So I'm trying to get it as close to the pencil line as I can. Okay, and half an inch from the top. That's good enough for me. And then burnish, burnish, burnish. Right, so next I'm going to fold and burnish these tabs, and I'm going to fold these tabs upwards. Once again, this is obviously, this craft card has a rougher side and a smoother side, and the smoother side I want to face upwards. So with the smoother side facing upwards, I'm folding down that tab over so that I can see the rougher side there on the tab. I'm going to add my glue. I'm going to add my tape. Notice no mitering of the edges. Burnish. Remove the tape backing. Add my glue. Now this one, you line up this tab on top of the tab that you just put on. So you want to put it over this tab that's already glued down. So you want to put it over the top, line up with the pencil line, make sure that's all lined up. And then give it a good burnish. Check everything several times, and then this folds up. Now for every other one down to the bottom, do exactly the same bit here. So you fold the tab forward, add your tape, take off the tape backing, add the glue. Once again, I mean, I know you all know how to do this, you know, but for those that don't, here it is. But I'm guessing you all already know how to do this. So this one, you want it up against your pencil line and then flush with the top of the previous one, so you can't see the pattern paper underneath. When that's all done, you fold this down and make sure that it is even. So this carries on in a straight line each side. Okay, now the next one, you do exactly the same as you've just done this one. So when it's dry, you carefully fold it up, and the next one goes exactly the same as the previous one, and that carries on down to the bottom. All done, and I ended up using 12 in the end, so I made an extra one, so there are 12 flaps all the way down. I don't think I've made a waterfall quite this big before, actually. Now you can use this tab if you've made one long enough, just to hold it in place whilst you do the next bit. And the next bit is to stick it into your book. So I want to open up my main flap where I've got my 2 booklets, reveal my page, now as you can see I do have a little bit of tape covering the brad at the back here, the split pin. So I'm just going to remove the backing on that. And then let's get some glue on the back here. The other thing you could do with this page is oh, that was my scoreboard, is instead of having the waterfall all the way down, you have a pocket at the bottom here, and the tag that goes in the pocket keeps the waterfall down. Oh dear, sorry, that dropping made me jump. Okay, so now we have to put on this page and centre it nicely. Okay, then when this closes, oh, I didn't think about this, did I? Okay, I may have to bend this slightly. Let's put some score lines in that. So I'm going to score and fold, and then score, where's my score tool? I'm going to score this again at about just over quarter of an inch, about 3/8 of an inch. So I've made a little step here, and then that should just gently hold that shut. That works for me. Right, now to put in these booklets. So I'm going to start off with this one. So I have my 3 pages together and my seam binding. Just going to start off by putting it through the hole in the cover. Then it has to go through all the holes in the pages. Back through the holes in the pages on the inside. Through the cover. inside to the outside. Okay, so when that's in nice and securely, I think I'm just going to tie this a knot. I don't want to have a big bow. I think I just want a knot. Yeah, I do just want a knot. So let's put it in to the middle. Yeah, into the middle. Tie a knot. And then I like to fray the edges. Okay, now the plain pieces are going to go just on the inside here, but not yet. And of course you don't have to use the plain, you could use patterned. You don't have to do these books at all, you could just have one flap. Now for this one, so my seam binding again. Give it a good twist so I can get it from the outside to the inside of the cover. And then for the booklet, outside to the centre. Then from the centre to the outside of the booklet, and from the middle of the cover to the outside of the cover, and then exactly the same, tie that in a knot. I am determined to get this through, you know. And it's easier to use a pencil than something with a sharp point, because obviously a sharp point just goes straight through the seam binding. To the outside. Nice and tight. And then tie that also in a knot. And fray the edges. Okay, so that's that bit done. Okay, now I'm going to add a couple of scrap bits here, and I actually want thicker card. I'm sure I've got some here. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, So my scrap bits I am going to have at let's think. They are approximately 2 inches by 2 inches by 5 inches. There we go. Then I am going to score these at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/8 of an inch, that's it. So I'm going to want these shorter. I think I'm going to have them at 3 inches. I'm going to cut these at 3 inches. That should be plenty. Yeah. So you want to cut it at 3 inches, not 5, and you want to score it at 3/4 of an inch and 1 1/8 of an inch. Next, I'm going to want some magnets. I think I'm going to start using some of my stronger magnets. Now this has to go here. I could have it more up towards, I think, top and bottom. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape onto this bit here. So on that short flap, that 3/4 of an inch flap, I'm putting some tape. I'm going to add my glue. Now you can put this on the inside if you prefer. I'm going to put mine on the outside, and I'm going to have it where this meets. I'm going to put this so that it just sits nicely on top of the under booklet. So there we go, there's that one. I'm going to do the same for this one. Remove my tape backing, add my glue, and once again I don't want to cover my gusset, but I do want it to stick, and I'm going to line it up against the bottom of this top booklet. That's on there. So this will be going round here. Now, although this is only a 1/4 inch gusset, I've added that extra little bit because this is 3/8 of an inch, so that when you put photographs in here, it will still close. It's still nicely expanded. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to need 3 batteries, or 2 really strong batteries and a piece of metal. And I think 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm hoping they are going to be strong enough. So what I'm going to do is on the inside flat of this bit, I'm going to add a magnet. Just the one. Okay, and I think I'm just going to have it slap bang in the middle. Then I'm going to pop the magnet on top of there. I'm going to line up my book page here and here. This is quite difficult with all the extra bits on. I'm going to line this up and I'm going to have it on there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go with my extra strong magnets. These are actually 2mm thick, so they are quite a lot stronger. And these are actually called power magnets. So that's on that side. I'm going to take one of my slightly smaller batteries and do that. Okay, and here's why. What did I just do with my tape? It's underneath there. Okay, so 4. Okay, so I've got battery, and I put this battery on here. So this battery I'm going to take off for a minute, and then I'm going to pop it like that. Then I can just very carefully close this down, making sure that my gusset is upright. And then, and this is sort of how, oh, I've forgotten her name, Rosa Kelly does her magnets. Okay, so that is done there. And now, see, that's my extra strong magnet. So my extra strong magnet can now go on right, let's get this right. It's quite difficult because you've got the gusset there. So double-sided tape, sticky side up on there, drop the magnet, line this up where it needs to be, give that a quick squeeze, and hopefully it will stick. So let's just hold that down there, and there it is. So now, well, that one was supposed to be on there. What am I doing? Oh, okay, this one comes off. This is why you always watch my videos to the end, because you don't want to muck up. Okay. So this, this sticky little magnet here will go onto this one here. So that should go there and there. Ta-da! And now, so this opens, the magnet holds it shut, but it also opens here, so you can open it. Now I've got to do the same for this one. That is page page 4. Right. I think I might put another one of these, maybe just up here. Maybe. Anyway, so page 4, you have this flips open, but it's also a book. And you can put 5x7 photographs in here. It's the same down here. Flips open, it's also a book. This whole page then flips open, so that doesn't do much at all. And you have the waterfall here. I will show you it decorated and what I'm going to decide to do about this when I come back to do page 5. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will try and be quicker next time. Bye for now.